Imagine having a thought in your mind, but not having the freedom to express it. Freedom of speech is something we may sometimes take for the granted, but it gives us the chance to share our thoughts, ideas, feelings, and opinions. It allows us to speak up, ask questions, and have meaningful conversation with others. But freedom of speech is not only about speaking. It is also about using our words responsibly and listening to different opinions with respect. We may not always agree with one another, but we can still respect each other's right to speak. Toastmasters gives us a safe and supportive place to practice this freedom. Here we learn to express ourselves clearly, speak with confidence, and share our ideas without fear. Every speech, table topic, and conversation helps us become better communicators. So today, let us value our voice and also respect the voices of others. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster and guest. A warm welcome to meeting number 287 of the Gabby Toastmaster Club. I am Toastmaster Prasang Mani, your Sergeant at Arm for today's meeting. As a Sergeant at Arm, it is my duty to highlight some key points for the meeting. First, the meeting is blocked for 2 hours, also urging you to stay for entire duration to get the maximum benefit. Second, your video should be on and the audio should be off. And only unmute yourself when you need to speak or call to speak. Third, regarding the topic of sex, religion, and politics, even though Toastmaster International does not put any restriction on speaking on these topics, at the Gabby Toastmaster Club, we request all the speakers and role takers to be mindful while speaking on these topics and abstain from creating any controversies. Our club mission: we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communications and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, let me hand over this meeting to our today presiding officer, DTM Nancy Goyal. But before I do so, let me introduce our presiding officer, DTM Nancy Goyal. Nancy Goyal, DTM, is a director and partner at Practive Consulting and Training LLP, a vibrant consulting and training service company which serves MSMEs, non-profits, and corporates across India. She has more than 10 years of entrepreneurial experience and a strong expertise in business intelligence and data analytics. Nancy is a chartered president of the Gabbys and currently serving as a president of the Gabby Club. Over to you, DTM Nancy Goyal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Prasang, our Sergeant at Arms. May I request to hear it for our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Prasang Mani here. I welcome you all to meeting number 287 of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. Today is Independence Day for India. It's 15th August. And I would urge you all to please stand up from your seats. We will start this meeting with National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविडयूत्कलबङ्गा विन्ध्य हिमाचल यमुना गङ्गा उच्छल जलधितरङ्गा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Never, and I mean never, introduce yourself by saying,
Thank you, everyone. Today, as we celebrate India's Independence Day, we celebrate one of the most precious freedoms we have, the freedom of speech. But freedom comes with responsibility. My freedom to speak should never become an excuse to take away your right to dignity, respect, and a voice of your own. I may disagree with you. I may challenge your ideas. I may hold completely different beliefs or opinions. But I can do all of that without disrespecting you. And that, in many ways, is what Toastmasters teaches us. Today, we have speakers and evaluators joining us from different countries, cultures, regions, and backgrounds. We may not always agree with one another, but that's perfectly fine. Because our goal isn't to create a room where everyone thinks alike. Our goal is to create a space where everyone feels safe enough to think, speak, listen, learn, and grow. And today, as Indians, let us demonstrate that we are mature enough to exercise our freedom with both courage and restraint. To speak with conviction, but also to listen with humility. To express our opinions fiercely, but never at the cost of another person's dignity. Because true freedom isn't simply the freedom to say what I want. True freedom is knowing how to use that freedom responsibly. So, on this Independence Day, let us celebrate not just the freedom of speech, but the responsibility that comes with it. Let us speak freely, let us listen generously, let us disagree respectfully, and together, let us create a better space to learn, grow, and become better versions of ourselves with humility and fierce resolve. Happy Independence Day and welcome to the Gabbys, where we celebrate the freedom to speak. To take this meeting further, we have Toastmaster of the Day. Our Toastmaster of the Day for today is a certified soft skills trainer and a POSH trainer and an image consultant. A Triple Crown winner and pathbreaker. Renu is deeply passionate about connecting with people, understanding their stories, and empowering them to grow through meaningful conversations. My fellow president at the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club, please put your hands together for our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Renu Kaushal.
Thank you so much. Greetings to every corner of the globe and happy Independence Day to the fellow citizens of my country. So the presiding officer and sergeant at arms have already spoken about the theme of the meeting, that is freedom to speak. So freedom of speech gives us the right to express our thoughts, question our ideas, share our experience, disagree respectfully, but most importantly, have our voices being heard. And here is the beautiful connection that we have with Toastmasters. Though freedom gives us a voice, but the Toastmasters teaches us how to use that voice. Because we have something to say is one thing, but saying it with clarity, confidence, and purpose, it's an art. And today, Gabbys is taking that art to another level. We have 8 powerful speakers, each bringing a unique voice and perspective to this special speech marathon. And the real magic is not in the 8 powerful speaker, but what comes after every speech. Because we have brought around together here 8 distinguished evaluators from across the world, representing South Asia, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and Canada. So together they bring more than 80 years of combined Toastmasters experience. And among the distinguished panel are 3 past district directors, bringing an extraordinary depth of leadership, experience, and expertise to every evaluation they'll do. So let's all buckle up. We don't have just 8 speakers, 8 voices, 80 years of wisdom that is coming up together. So Toastmasters, are you all ready to hear the powerful voices? Let's hear some noise.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, Anne. So for the benefit of the guests and those the people, I would just like to explain the structure of today's speech marathon. Today's special meeting is divided into 2 key sections. We'll begin with the prepared speeches, where members will deliver speeches based on their chosen pathways and projects. Followed by this will be the evaluation section, where we receive constructive feedback from our distinguished evaluators that will help the speakers grow as communicators. So before we proceed to the first section, the prepared speeches, I would just like to make it a mention that no role in this meeting will go without an introduction. While I will introduce each speaker as they join us on virtual stage, our evaluators too will be introduced before they take up their role. So let me introduce now the timer of today's meeting. The timer of today's meeting is none other than Toastmaster Pooja Sharma.
Thank you, Renu.
A quick introduction about Pooja, and then she'll be explaining her role to us. Pooja is a seasoned talent acquisition professional and recruitment manager at Atkin Relis, and she has over 14 years of experience in international and corporate technical recruitment. She has partnered with global organizations across banking, aerospace, engineering, and several other industries, connecting exceptional talent with meaningful career opportunities. Toastmaster Pooja, please explain your role.
Thank you, Renu. Good morning, Toastmasters. Good morning, everyone. Today, my name is Pooja Sharma. I'm going to play a role of timer, and my responsibility is to ensure that every segment of this meeting is, allotted is going to be smooth and will be completed in the allotted time. And as you everyone knows that today is the India's Independence Day, so we are also celebrating the spirit of the Indian tricolor. Instead of using this red, yellow, and green cards, I'll be using green, white, and saffron cards. So we have first speech, icebreaker speech, and the time allotted will be 4 to 6 minutes. So I'll display green card at 4 minutes, white card at 5 minutes, saffron card at 6 minutes. So we'll be having a grace period of 30 seconds. And the second speech, we have special DTM speech, which is going to be around 8 to 10 minutes. And I display green card at 8 minutes, white card at 9 minutes, and saffron card at 10 minutes. So here also similarly, like we have grace period of 30 seconds. And the other 6 prepared speeches today we have, which is going to be 5 to 7 minutes duration. And similarly, I'll display green card at 5 minutes, white card at 6 minutes, and saffron card at 7 minutes. Uh, and this last section will be speech evaluation. Here also similarly, like the timing will be between 2 to 3 seconds, 2 to 3 minutes. Green card at 2 minutes, white card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and saffron card at 3 minutes. So once the session is completed, I'm going to share the timer report, and you can just go through the report about each and every speaker time, how much time they have taken in the speech. And thank you so much. I wish you all the best for everyone for your today's meeting. Thank you so much. Back to Renu.
Toastmaster Pooja, can you just display the cards,
Yes, yes,
like
yeah.
how they'll
Just
be?
a second. Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm displaying that. So white card is going to look like this. Hoping that you can see my screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And orange is going to look like this. And green is going to look like this.
Okay. Today the red card is being replaced by the orange card, right, Pooja?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for bringing in the theme and a remembrance of our 80th Independence Day. So, Gabbys, let's start with the 8 dynamic speeches. So, each speaker today has crafted their speech with purpose and passion. And so, sit back, listen closely, and get ready to be inspired. I bring onto the virtual stage now our first speaker, Toastmaster Pratham Das. Toastmaster Pratham, can you please spotlight him?
Am I
Thank
audible?
you. Yes, you are audible. Before you start, I have a quick introduction about you. Toastmaster Pratham has a wonderful blend of technology and creativity. By day, he is a software developer. By night, he transforms into a 3D artist. Oh, truly, it's a creativity at its best. But his creativity world doesn't stop here. Pratham is also a short story writer and a passionate storyteller. So, bringing imagination, technology, and narrative together in his own unique way. Let's give him our full attention and listen to his story. Toastmaster Pratham will be delivering today his icebreaker speech. Timer, please note that the duration is 4 to 6 minutes. And Toastmaster Pratham will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. Toastmaster Pratham, from what if to why not? From what if to why not? Toastmaster Pratham.
Imagine a small village with muddy roads, endless greenery, wind flowing over rice fields, fresh jaggery with rotis in winter, and drying up ponds in summer, also cane grasses in autumn. This was my world. Then a familiar world which I was part of, where I knew what my days looked like, and to some extent, I knew what my future would look like. Then one morning, I was introduced to a single word, J. I didn't know what J was until my sir explained. And then suddenly, I felt my small world much bigger. Boards came and went. I chose PCMB. I was going to become an engineer. 11 started, and the pressure started building up. I was barely managing PCM at the cost of biology. Then, one mild December morning, I heard over an old radio that an unknown virus was spreading through China. By March, India had stopped. So I had my biology exams. Slowly, 1 month turned into 6. And my JEE preparation took a hit. I took a drop year. It got better. but never recovered. Meanwhile, my friends went on their lives. They joined colleges, made new friends. They were starting their cool lives. I heard their stories, and somewhere I started to build FOMO, and I started to question myself. Am I good enough? Is it the thing I want to do? Am I doing the right thing? Is engineering the right thing? I eventually took the exam as expected. It didn't go so well, but my parents pursued me to go to college. I thought, let's give it a try. What could go wrong? First day, chemistry class. My neurons are on fire. Everything overwhelmed me. New faces, new place, new curriculum. Away from my home, I was mortified. 1 month passed. Few faces became familiar. And then I changed my stream. The cycle got reset. But this time, these unknown faces became my friends. And we started to explore new food places, far and near. It was our comfort, our evening ritual, something to look forward to. Somehow another year passed, and now I am in my third year. After looking for so long, I got an internship. Soon got another one. But slowly, I started losing interest. Even from the things I once loved. I was I felt empty staring at my laptop screen and wondered, isn't this the thing which was supposed to make me happy? Isn't this thing I was wanted to do for so long? Months passed, nothing changed. It was high time. I took matters into my own hand and started dragging myself out of that stagnant position. From saying no to everything, I started saying yes. From hola, ¿cómo estás? To blender, I tried many things. After exploring so many things, I realized I truly enjoyed exploring new things and connecting with new people. But there was one problem, a huge gap between my mind and my mouth. I have plenty of stories in my head, but when it came to expressing them, I can only manage. And once this problem was clear, I started looking into solution. Then I stumbled upon an online community, a wonderful community. Now I am a part of it. I may have started from a small world, but ever since that one word, my world never stopped growing. My dirt roads have somehow connected to basecamp pathways. I don't know where it will lead me, but I am excited to walk it. Thank you. Over to you, deciding. Uh,
Thank you, Toastmaster Pratham. Let's give a standing ovation, the well-deserved standing ovation for making such a wonderful start to his Toastmaster journey. Kudos to you, Toastmaster Pratham, and all the very best. Looking forward to more speeches, more memories of your journey. Inviting now to the second speaker, Toastmaster Sanjay Jain, to the virtual stage. Can we please spotlight him? I would also urge the timer, Toastmaster Pooja, once again on the screen. And if you can quickly explain which card will be displayed at one, because now we have just change of colors over here, white, green and orange, right? For the benefit of the speakers, please. Can you please quickly reiterate what? This card will be displayed. This is at the beginning?
Pooja, you can be on the camera. It's not a problem. Don't worry about that. Just let you be on the camera. Yeah. Just change the background. Green, white, and orange. Just change the cards and show it.
Yeah. So speakers, please note that the yellow card is the green card now, and the white card will be the
No.
yeah.
It's
The
not
first
so
is going to be
confusing.
green,
Green, white, and orange.
white, and
Yes,
then orange.
yes, that is how it should be. Yes. Okay. White we will show as a yellow card, right? And orange as the red card.
Yes.
Okay, now a quick introduction about our speaker, Toastmaster Sanjay Jain. He's a chartered accountant by profession and a passionate communicator by choice. While he works with numbers during the day, his true dream goes far beyond balance sheets. He aspires to become an effective communicator. Today, Toastmaster Sanjay is joining us to deliver his Project 2 of Level 1 Path Presentation Mastery. The project theme is Writing a Speech with Purpose. Timer, please note the speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. And Toastmaster Sanjay will be evaluated by DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Bhushan Relay. Distinguished Toastmaster Bhushan is in the room. Can you please confirm your presence?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Toastmaster Sanjay, the wonders in our own backyard. The wonders in our own backyard, Toastmaster Sanjay.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for confirming. Happy Independence Day to all of you. Good morning, Toastmasters and friends. Today, we will explore the wonders in our backyard. I visited various places. Europe has extraordinary heritage. India does too. Travel the world, but do not forget your own heritage. This is my theme today. In India, we have various places across the country, like the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, and various heritage. And we have to be proud of ourselves, and we have to display to the world that India is no far behind any other country in the heritage and Asian heritage. Our ancestors have done their job, and it is now our job to present the world India to the world and build a brand India. So today I'm going to take you to the one of the rural place which is near my village. It's 100 kilometers far from my village, Bali, and it's having a very unique temple. It's the place name is Ranakpur. It's a very beautiful village and a beautiful temple, which if you see, when I visited there as a pilgrimage, I started worshipping the god in a puja costumes, and then I was sitting in the veranda of the temple. The tourist with the foreign tourist with the guide had come there. The guide started explaining the uniqueness of this temple. It has around 1,444 pillars, and each pillar has a different scriptures and different art in it, which I was not knowing. I had visited this temple for a couple of times, and I was not knowing the uniqueness of this temple. I was going as a devotee and worshipping, but never I have understood the history of this temple. It has taken around 50 years to build this temple, more than 50 years to build this temple, and it was built in the 15th century, where we did not have the modern art, the modern infrastructure, and modern things. But this temple stands tall today itself, today also, and most of us do not know. Are we missing something? Are we missing our roots? That was my thing. And then I thought that we should present our heritage and our things. So whenever I go to any place, I click the monument picture and post it in my social media thing so that it becomes a message to others that come and visit these places so that we can learn from it and make our generations proud of it. Then from there I visited to Palitana, which is in Gujarat, around 500 kilometers far from my village. And I seen the beauty of this temple. It's situated in the mountains where to climb it takes around 3,500 steps approximately to climb and do the worship the god. But if you see, it was built centuries ago, and it is now also stands tall. And the uniqueness of this temple is that it was built with so much precision and marvel that today also people wonder how this temple has been built, and we cannot at all imagine the creativity and the infrastructure they had at that point of time. But this is not known to the world that what the beauty is there in our temples, and we are not projecting it as a tourist destination. If we start projecting this as a tourist destination to the world, people may come here not just to worship, but to appreciate the architecture, the things we have in our heritage. And that uniqueness, I wanted to project it. And if you see in the image how beautifully it was done, and it is called the Satrunga Hill. The temple is situated on the Satrunga Hill. If you Google it, you will get the map of this temple. Then the next comes in the south. There is a Chidambaram temple. It's called Nataraja temple. It's dedicated to Lord Nataraja, the Shiva. Here, the uniqueness of this temple is that if you see in the PPT where the idols are there on the temple, there is a unique steps of Lord Shiva doing the Tandava, and it is very well depicted in that. If you see how mind blowing it is, that we cannot do a simple drawing in our paper. We require computer, artificial intelligence to do it. But during that time, they have built this temple with such a precision and that. But we are not projecting this to the world. So my thing is that we should start projecting and speaking about what India stands for and India is, so that a simple message on the social media or things and people start appreciating it. We have 140 crore people, and each of us start appreciating our own destination, how viral it will go, how much reach it will have. That we should imagine, and we can build brand India. The last thing I would like to tell you about the Meenakshi temple. This is a living heritage. Here you go to this temple, you will understand the vibes. It will give you the vibes of a living heritage, the crowd, the feeling. The stories are written on the walls, carved by the people at that point of time. So it tells us the uniqueness of this temple and makes us, if you see the compound wall, it's spread like a city or a very big compound wall. So it is a very beautiful temple, which I would like to tell you the four temples, four experience. Ranakpur stands for craftsmanship, Palitana stands for preservance, Chidambaram stands for stillness, and Madurai stands for living heritage. But how many of us knows about it? So I would like to tell all of you, let us explore India, let us experience India, let us appreciate India, and let us preserve India. Thank you. Back to the TMOD.
What a unique perspective our speaker Sanjay Jain has brought in on the day of the Independence Day. Well, the beauty lies in the eye of the beholder, and each perspective, with whatever perspective you may bring, whatever lens you may hold, India has that beauty to take back with you. So thank you. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for our speaker number 2, Sanjay Jain. Inviting on the virtual stage now, I'm inviting Toastmaster Samita Kar, who is currently the VP Education and as well as the past president of Gabbys Online Advanced Toastmasters. Toastmasters Samita is a woman empowerment coach with a strong background in teaching. Zoom moderator, can we please spotlight her? Toastmasters Samita has a strong background in teaching, leadership, and public speaking. She brings clarity, courage, and consistency to everything she takes up. Joining us today, she's attempting her project 4 of level 1 path visionary communication. The project name is evaluation and feedback. Toastmaster Samita, is this your first speech?
Yes.
Okay. Timer, please note that the speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Samita will be evaluated by Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi. Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed, please confirm your presence. Do we have a Distinguished Toastmaster in the room?
Not yet. He's not able to join.
Okay. So should we continue or we wait for him?
Can we just slightly change the schedule? I'll just check if DTM Ahmed is joining. If he's not, then I will take up the evaluation for Samita.
Okay.
Let's go with another speaker. We'll come back to Samita.
Right.
Samita, is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we please spotlight the next speaker?
DTM Ahmed is here. DTM Ahmed is
He's
here.
here.
Okay, right. Great. I'll once again say the details of Toastmaster Samita's speech. Toastmaster Samita is attempting her project 4 of level 1 path visionary communication. The project name is evaluation and feedback. This is her first speech. Timer, please note the speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Samita, his footsteps remains. His footsteps remains Toastmaster Samita.
I know all of you must love your fathers. I was not happy with my father. Not happy at home. My dear Toastmasters and guests, you must be wondering what happened, Samita? Why didn't you like your father? I'll tell you why. Every few days, some people would walk in. Walking? Yes, there were guests in our house. And then they would go to the hospital. I would hear the word like surgery, IVF, delivery, and then more people would come. My house was full. Why did my father call all these people? I love the part that these people came. I could get new friends to play. But what about sharing? I have to share my bed, my toys, even my living space. Sleeping also, there are so many people in the house. We could live like other people, but no, my father had to call them. I tried asking him. He would just smile. The last straw was when we had gone out for an outing. A small girl came and hugged my father's leg, saying, "My doctor, my doctor." Why your doctor? He's my father. He's not in the hospital now. My father did not tell her anything. In fact, he patted her head and smiled at her, saying it is okay. Tell me, which daughter can share her father with so many people? I never liked this idea. And I thought to myself, when I grow up in my house, no people like me. I will stay alone with my family, immediate family. My father used to smile but not say anything. The only thing I saw was the happiness in the face of these people when they are happy. I distinctly remember one incident. It was around 2 o'clock at night. I woke up with the smell of food. Smell of food at 2 o'clock at night. I tried sitting up. My father, whom I called Babji, said, go back to bed. And then one fat uncle came. He said, we are so sorry we came to your house. You know what? We have all missed our train, all 6 of us. We are doctors in Calcutta. Didn't know where to go. So we called up your father. He was gracious enough to give us a space in your house. And of course, your mother is cooking food for us. Don't worry, dear. We will go in the morning. That's 2 in the night. My mother is cooking. I am never going to be like her. Slowly, I grew up. Somehow, these value, compassion, these things which my father did, which I actually didn't like, seeped into my bones. So when my friend gave me a call, Samita, they said I need to have an emergency appendix operation. I said, please come to my house because my house is near the hospital. She came, went to the hospital, had an operation. I was carrying food for her. Another friend called me, Samita, my son is in the hostel. Food is really bad, dear. What to do? I smiled and said, send him over. That became a ritual. Every Saturday night and Sunday, the child would come to my house and we would sit and have food, share our stories. And then, when we used to go back after Sunday dinner, I would sit back and wonder, when did I change? The thing that I hated most about my father was the things that I have started doing. My kids had almost the same reaction. Mama, why? Mama, we are not going to do it. And I smiled. I smiled because value is something that is not taught. It is something you see, you imbibe. You stand at a position where you feel like helping someone. The other people around you may not understand what you are doing, but you do it because you feel it is correct. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Hello, son. I heard there is a lot of rainfall in Gurgaon. Usually there is flooding. Are you okay? This was the panicked mother in me. My son was working away from home and there was a problem. I could see it in the news. He was still in his office. He had to go back home. I was worried like any mother. He said, Mom, I have just taken a cab. I will ring you once I reach home. Mama, I won't have much battery in my mobile. Don't worry. Don't worry. As a mother, I won't worry. Those 4 hours were the worst hours of my life. I could not ring him. I did not know where he is. And I was getting so frightened at what is happening. Then came at 11:30 a phone call. Mama, I have reached home safely. Mommy, don't worry. There are 5 other friends with me. They could not go home today. I have brought them home. And they are with me. We have cooked something and we are safe, Mommy, don't worry. He smiled. Papa, you might not be there with us today, but we are walking in the path that you have shown us. Those values and compassion are all with us. Over to you, Mr.
Wow, what a wonderful speech, Toastmaster Samita, and what a gentle memory that you brought back to me also about our subtle ways how our parents used to imbibe great values in us. Thank you, thank you. Inviting now onto the stage is the fourth speaker who will be exercising his freedom of speech is Toastmaster Varun V. A quick introduction about Varun. Toastmaster Varun, if you can, like, you have a light just up on your head that is flashing. Yes, this is better. Yes, a little bit more. Thank you. So a quick introduction about him. Toastmaster Varun is based in Bangalore. He works with Deloitte, USI Consulting in cyber strategy and transformation as a solution advisor. With a background in computer science and PGDM, he brings together technology, business, and strategic thinking. Certified in business intelligence, data science, and cybersecurity, Varun represents the new age professional, tech-savvy, global-aware, and always evolving. Toastmaster Varun today is attempting his Project 1 of Level 2 Path Dynamic Leadership, and the project name is Understanding Your Leadership Style. Timer, once again, the speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Varun will be evaluated by Distinguished Toastmaster Iona. I can see Toastmaster Iona. Toastmaster Varun, the director's cut, Finding My Leadership Style. The director's cut, Finding My Leadership Style, Toastmaster Varun.
Hey, am I audible, guys?
Could you please repeat? Yeah.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. I was always fascinated by the world of movies. I loved movies since childhood. And one specific feature that I loved about movies was filmmaking, or rather the role of the director in how movies got crafted. See, a lot of the directors that I admired had a very clear and serious vision about how they wanted to present their movies to the audience. They had total control over all aspects of filmmaking, be it sound design, be it music, be it cinematography, production design, writing. It felt like their imprints were all over everything. Almost felt like one man was controlling the entire ship, barring the actors, of course, who were acting on screen. But even that guidance was being given by a director. And that interested me quite a bit to pursue filmmaking when I was in college. I joined my college's filmmaking club as a director and scriptwriter and had a number of ideas as to how I wanted to tell my stories to a wider audience. Now, the problem is that filmmaking is not a solitary profession. And me being the control freak that I generally am, and holding my vision as sacrosanct, I did get into a lot of conflicts and issues when I started off with filmmaking back in college. See, I wanted every edit, every cut, every move of the camera, every expression given by an actor to be dictated by my own terms. And within those broad confines, I was discovering that people collaborated with me without appreciating the rigidity that I was imposing upon them. It was sort of holding them within their bounds and not letting them express their creativity. And that led to a lot of frustration, that led to a lot of delays, that led to a lot of challenges that were stalling things on my set when I was making my first movie. I was steadfast, adamant in my vision, but my vision was not really translating all that well, the way I'd hoped it would. And after a brief period in time when I was facing all of these difficulties, I decided to change my approach to how I see movies. See, collaboration and collaborating with other people, in effect, does not necessarily negate your vision. And I had to discover that the hard and fast way. I began to take inputs from my cinematographer on how certain shots may seem better if taken from a certain angle. Or how an editor would come up to me and tell me that, we don't need these particular scenes, we can take them out of the movie. Or an actor's spontaneity when he was acting in front of the camera that was originally not envisioned by me either in the script or during my direction of the movie. These things take you quite pleasantly by surprise. And they also allow for your collaborators to express their own creativity in ways that they probably would not have had I stuck to the rigidity that I had imposed upon them. I did discover the highs of filmmaking once I decided to adopt this approach. And that served me quite well in that my films started flowing better, the shoot started flowing better. The on-set camaraderie and banter that I had with my collaborators started increasing. And I became more and more confident in my own abilities as a filmmaker and as a storyteller, even though I was operating on a very, very small scale with practically no budget. But those experiences and that learning did help me drive some of the decisions that I undertook during my corporate career as well. Even though now I'm leagues away, worlds away removed from filmmaking, I still carry some of that leadership style that I found myself discovering when I was making movies in my current profession as a cybersecurity strategy consultant at Deloitte. You see, collaborating with people doesn't necessarily mean that your vision will always be truncated. Your vision will always have to be compromised. You can still reach creative solutions to problems going forward. It could be someone who could challenge your assumptions about some things. It could be someone who comes up with a technical solution to a problem or something around a business impact to a problem. And someone who can just maybe help you rethink your entire approach to a problem and the concept in hand. And that was a big, big learning for me that carried over from my filmmaking days. And I'm very grateful that I could discover that early on going forward in my career. So what I would suggest everyone who wants to find the leadership style would be to find your own groups, to find your own style, to follow the hidden trial method, to see what works best for you, what doesn't work for you, and then take a call on how you want to perceive yourself as a leader. Had I not gotten those learnings up forward during my college days, I probably would not have changed my entire approach to leadership. And that to me is finding my own director's cut. It is not just about following your own vision, but constantly refining your approach, reviewing your approach, changing your approach to certain things based on situations. And now with the advent of AI, with the advent of technology, I may still not know whether this current leadership style that I'm following in my current day-to-day life may hold true, maybe 5 to 10 years down the line. So always have that flexibility going forward as far as leadership is concerned, and not be tied into some of the rigidity that you impose upon yourself as a leader. So those are my 2 cents as far as leadership goes. And I hope that people do incorporate that in their day-to-day lives, if possible, to see where they exactly see themselves as leaders going forward. So thank you so much, and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Varun. I completely resonate with your idea of keep evolving in your own leadership style. Thank you. Today we have, like Toastmasters, we've already reached the midway of our speech marathon. And taking us further on this exciting journey, we have coming on stage is our fifth speaker, Toastmaster Rahul Swami. Toastmaster Rahul Swami is a fitness enthusiast and a marketing analyst at Sanofi Hyderabad. He's an ambitious, strategic thinker with a knack of learning new things. Toastmaster Rahul is attempting today his Project 1 of Level 2 Path Dynamic Leadership. The project name is, okay, I think there's some, Toastmaster Rahul, can you just share the details of your project?
It's project number 2, Know Your Sense of Humor, and
Okay.
the speech title is Bodybuilder.
Yes, and the speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Rahul, bodybuilder, Toastmaster Rahul. Toastmaster Rahul will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar Balakrishnan. Distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar, are you in the room, please? Please confirm. Yes, thank you.
You're speaking on me.
Toastmaster Rahul, bodybuilder, Toastmaster Rahul.
When I was in my teen age, I was obsessed with 3 things: chocolate, video games, and bodybuilding. In my 10th grade, when I was coming back from my school bus to my home, I saw something very unique. I saw a person who was humongous. He was having broad shoulders, big back, humongous biceps. His veins were popping, and the moment if he flexed one more time, his t-shirt would fall apart. I was excited to see him and curious what kind of man he is. He was none other than a legitimate bodybuilder. As I was curious, but I was not able to gather the courage to ask him how he built such body. I walked away and went to my home. After a few days, when I was passing by the market, I saw a factory where these kind of muscle monsters are built. It's called gym. I saw that somebody was coming out from the gym and they had a different style of walking, and they were always holding a shaker in their hand, sipping it and checking their muscle size. I thought, let's give it a try. Maybe this is the right place to go and find how they are building this body. I entered the gym, but then I was able to explore different kinds of people in the gym. There was the guy who was the photographer. He was working out with a dumbbell in one hand and keeping camera in front of him, just finding the right light to show his muscles. And then after clicking the picture, he kept the dumbbell back. I was like brother, are you building a body or you are building your Instagram profile? Second, I saw a machine tester. He was banging on weights again and again in the gym with his full force. And there was loud noises of the weights going down. Jim was shaking. It felt like he was testing the durability of the machines in the gym. Then I saw the yeller or grunter. With every rep he did, he was yelling, and that too to grab the attention of all other human beings. Of course, his sound was the best form of domination, but his performance was severely lacking. Then I saw the expressionist. Whenever they lifted their weight, the weight of the machine, they were expressing in another way. As if they were constipated. Then I saw an actual bodybuilder. The bodybuilder was really working out and he was humongous. So I thought of joining the gym. But it was not a piece of cake. As after the first day, I felt like somebody has beaten me with sticks. I was not able to walk after a leg day as I needed a walker to walk properly. I was so much cramped. Also, when it comes to my diet, I was not able to have food properly because I had to avoid all the chocolates, throw them away, and measure every single food which I am taking inside my body. Then, after consistent years, I actually built a body. But just to made fun of me. As children who saw me, they used to say, Uncle, Uncle, please show your body once. Or if I go to a fruit seller, he said, bodybuilder bhaiya, what do you want? If I if someday my father brings some good food which is not healthy but tasty, and I used to tell my family members to not to have it as it's unhealthy, especially my wife. My father used to say that this guy can only give you a protein powder. Then also one thing I realized apart from these jokes that bodybuilding has taught me a big lesson of success. If you are consistent enough, you work hard smartly over the long period of time, you will achieve success. Maybe you are a student or a business owner or a Toastmaster. If you apply this principle, you will definitely get good grades. You will build a profitable business. Also, someday you might win the international speech contest as a Toastmaster. That's all. That's the biggest lesson I learned, and I would like to pass it on to you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul, for engaging us in a gym humor, I would say. Toastmasters, planning for good health and ideal finances. These are the two investments that truly shape the quality of our lives. And when it comes to both, a little planning can make a big difference tomorrow. As our Toastmaster Rahul has reiterated about going to gym with consistency. So bringing onto the stage our next speaker, Toastmaster Sagar Dugal. Toastmaster Sagar is attempting his Project 3, Level 3 of Innovative Planning Path. And a quick word about him. He is a celebrated anchor and MC known for his charisma, eloquence, and commanding stage presence. With his extensive experience in hosting weddings, corporate events, Toastmaster Sagar seamlessly blends wit, warmth, and humor and turns any occasions into an unforgettable experience. A master of audience engagement, he perfectly embodies the vibrant spirit of the Gabbys. His project name is Inspire Your Audience. Timer, please note, the speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Sagar will be evaluated by Distinguished Toastmaster Chu E. Ping. Toastmaster Sagar, credit card, Toastmaster Sagar.
We all love to travel. I love to travel, to be very honest. We all love to stargaze. We all love to see mountains. We all love to understand what's like. There in the world and everything. In the entire process of the traveling, what if I say I can make your travel experience a little better, or I can make your travel experience a little cheaper? If you talk about numbers, cheaper 20%. Now, 20% cheaper means if you make 5 such trips, or if you book 5 such travel plan, the 6th one will be absolutely free. I mean, that's a basic maths. How we can do this? So let's not beat around the bush, and please allow me to tell you how you can have your travel experience little better and a little cheaper. Before that, please allow me to tell you something more about myself. It's been good 10 years. I have been traveling all across the India and a few parts of the world. I have been touching all the I have already touched all the horizons and the different spectrums. And 90% of my travel trips are sponsored by the clients. Only 10% I do take care. But yes, that 10% have given me enough knowledge how I save my penny and how I get rid of the bad experiences of the hotels. So let's not beat around the bush and let's dig into the topic. So the very first thing I do is to check all those applications. Okay, so let's talk about the flight experiences and all. So I'm flying to Bombay on 19th of August to and fro. 19th, I'm going. 20th, I'll be flying back. I checked Paytm. I checked Make My Trip. I checked all other applications. The costing was roughly 13K of the flights to and fro. Now, if I have this Federal Bank Scapia credit card that you can see on your screen, the entire expense actually plummeted down to 10.5K. And the saving was 2.5K. If we do the maths, 19-20%. I have been doing this. It's been good 2-3 years. Yeah, 2-3 years. Every time I fly, I book by Scapia Federal Credit Card and I save good 20% of my money on flights and on the hotels as well, on the experiences also. Okay, so let's talk about the experiences now. Okay, show of hands if you would love to take you or take your family on a dinner date on a good fancy hotel. Show of hands. I would like to see everyone. Okay, that's amazing. Amazing. Now, if you go to such properties like Taj, properties like Marriott, properties like Fairmont, properties like Hollymont, so they can charge you a good amount of money. And what if I tell you that if you have a certain card with you, you will get flat 25% off on the dine-in. I repeat myself once again, flat 25% off on the dine-in. And this card is Epicure card, which I got complimentary from American Express. Okay, so let's talk about American Express first. In India, if you are a salaried employee, even if you are if you are making a basic amount of money, it's so easy to get an American Express card. And if you have an American Express card, it's so easy to get this Epicure card, which I got complimentary. Flat 25% off in any IHG property. IHG stands for Indian Hotels Group. Any hotel which comes under IHG, you will get flat 25%. And believe me, 25% is a huge amount of money. It means that 4 times you dine in, 5th time will be absolutely free. Now, moving ahead, I forgot to tell you how did I, get to the Federal Bank's KPI credit card. It costed me nothing. Yeah, you heard me right. It costed me nothing. So zero annual fee, zero bonus fee, zero everything. I applied online. I didn't visit any bank. So they have taken my interview online, hardly 10, 15 minutes. In the next 7 days, I had this card with me. So let's talk about the hotel experiences. So that's a very general notion. If you go for a hotel, the very first thing you check is the budget. The price bracket. The second thing you check is the location nearby? Is the location you get to double down the location, you get to double down the pricing. And after that, the third thing you check is the rating on Make My Trip application, rating on all those applications. Even after double downing on every such aspect, still sometimes you land up in a bad hotel with the bad services, with the bad experiences. And you have paid a good amount of money. How to get rid of that? Please allow me to explain this to you. Now, this is directly coming from my experience because I have been doing this since the last couple of years. The very first thing, I have the filter of my pricing. The second thing is a location. The third thing is not so common. The third thing I check is a negative comment, the negative reviews. I never check the positive one. And why? Why do I check the negative reviews? The logic remains very simple, very basic. If you check all the negative reviews, you will have a very crystal clear idea about their services, about the food, about the hygiene, about the bugs in the bed, about the nearby locality. As I mentioned to you prior, I'm flying to Bombay. I was checking into the property. Everything was good. The price was good. The location was good. The reviews were 4.6 on Make My Trip application. The pictures were amazing, appealing. The rooms were super classy. And the moment I checked onto those negative reviews, I got to know that there's a pub or a bar nearby. If you book that property, you might end up not sleeping the whole night because the voice is so loud of the pub and the bar nearby. So all these are my experiences of booking the properties, booking the hotels. I hope this has added a little value in the entire process of booking the flight, booking the properties. And by any chance, if you need any help, if you need any assistance, if you need any insider's knowledge on such things, on traveling in India and a few places of the world, I'll be more than happy to help you. And with this, I would like to hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sagar, for sharing your insights and your experience about how to book some economical hotels, and that too premium hotels, and again the flights. Yes, I also took back a message that to always give back reviews on the sites, right? Good or bad, whatever they may be. They do bring in some value later on to the people who are coming back on the for bookings. Okay, now let's get on with our speech marathon ahead. A quick update: we started our journey with an icebreaker, and now we have progressed all the way to level 3. So what an amazing journey it has been so far, from taking those first steps to tackling the more advanced projects. But we still have more powerful voices coming up. Our 7th speaker is Toastmaster Subhashini Joylalita. a chartered accountant and tax corporate law consultant who helps Indian firms streamline GST, audit, and tax compliance using AI. Wow. With expertise in accounting, internal audit, and financial advisory, Subhashini is thoughtful and authentic. She values meaningful connections and purposeful communication. Today, Subhashini is attempting her Project 1, Level 3 of Part Presentation Mastery. The project name is Connect with Storytelling. Timer, please note the speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Subhashini will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Umar Farooq Awan. Do we have him in the room?
Yes.
Please.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for confirmation. Toastmaster Subhashini, Manthan. Manthan, Toastmaster Subhashini.
Manthan. That's the word I want to start with. It probably means nothing to you yet, and that's exactly why I chose it. In a few minutes, it makes sense. My warm greetings to all the distinguished Toastmasters, and guests present here. Samudra Manthan, have you heard this term? It comes from an old story out of India, a mythology, the kind every culture keeps somewhere in its bones, the kind a grandmother fascinately narrates to the children. Half real, half an ocean, not water as you know it, an ocean of milk, endless and silver, breathing like something alive. On its bank stood two sets of people who had despised each other since the beginning of time. Rivalries, the Devas and the Asuras. You can call them the gods and demons if you like. And for once, they set down their war. Wonder why? Because they got to learn somewhere beneath that milky ocean lay Amrita, the nectar of immortality. Who doesn't want it, right? And both sides, both the rivals, set aside their enmity and wanted it so badly that they become allies. So together, they built the most enormous churn the world has ever seen, what the old texts in the mythology call Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. A mountain for the rod, Mount Mandara, its peak lost in cloud. A serpent for the rope, Serpent Vasuki coiled around it. The demons, the asuras gripping its head, and the gods, the devas, gripping its tail. And they began to churn. Can you hear it? The ocean groaning, the mountain grinding into the seabed, thousands of arms hauling that great serpent back and forth for days, for months, for years without end. You would think the first thing to rise from all that labor would be something magnificent. But I'm sorry to say, it wasn't anything magnificent. The first thing to rise was Hala Hala, a poison so violent it could unmake all the three worlds in a single breath. Black smoke curling off black water. And in that instant, every hand on that rope let go. Because when poison rises, everyone steps back. Everyone except one. The story says Lord Shiva walked forward, cupped the poison in his palms, and drank it. Here is the part I want you to sit with. He didn't swallow it down where it would have destroyed him from within. He didn't spit it back out where it would have destroyed the world outside. He held it right here in his throat. Neither in nor out, just held. And that is why in every image ever since, his throat is blue and we call him Neelakant. You know that, right? Only then after all of this did the ocean begin to give up the wonders. Uchchaishravas, the wishing horse, a beautiful horse, Kamadhenu, a grand wishing cow, Airavata, an elephant with white skin like snow. So many wonders. And finally, Lakshmi herself arising out of the churn in gold. Wow. Followed by Dhanvantri, cradling the very pot of Amrit, the nectar they had churned all along for. Now, when I was a child hearing the story, I only cared about that last part, the nectar, the happy ending. I sat through the poison a little bored because I just want to go to the best part, the gold and the nectar. It's only now that I understand the story was never really about the nectar itself. Because think about it. In everything you and I have ever built, be it a career, a marriage, a dream worth having, what actually arrives first? Is it the reward? No, right? It's the churn, self doubt, the grinding, the version of you that wants to let go of that rope the moment there is difficulty, the moment the poison surfaces. Hardship always comes before the harvest, always. And the ones who get to taste the nectar are simply the ones who refuse to let go of that rope when the poison surfaces. Do you agree with me? The second lesson hiding here, which is super quiet, but I think it's even more important for me because one day you might catch yourself standing so close to the poison or a difficult situation. That's what I mean here. Maybe leading a team, maybe raising an adolescent child, holding a family together. Maybe someone will hand you something so bitter that isn't even yours to carry. We find ourselves in such situations, don't we? And you will always see until it poisons you from the inside or spit it out, pass the bitterness on to whoever is nearest. Let me tell you, friends, neither one is leadership, neither one is love. This story beautifully says Lord Shiva shows us a third way. When such moment arises, do not let it low enough to reach your heart. Do not let it high enough to escape your lips. Hold it exactly here, the space between feeling and speaking. Let it mark you. Let that blue color, never let it become your mood. Never let it become your weapon. So the next time life hands you the poison or difficulty before the prize or the reward, and it always does. Remember the story of Samudra Manthan and how you can ace it. Manthan, the word I started with, it simply means the churn. Life churns us through different difficulties, different situations. But you and I learn today, we will not swallow it. We will not spit it out. What we do is we hold it right there and ace it because we know on the other side of every churn, every single one, the ocean gives us what we need to learn. It's gold, it's nectar. But we are now aware that poison always comes first, but we are wise enough to know that the nectar always follows. Thank you. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Subhashini, what a beautiful interpretation of the story, Manthan. I'll always remember this. Now it's time to be to the final speech of our Freedom of Speech Marathon. And what better way to conclude this marathon but with the voice of an aspiring distinguished Toastmaster. Our final speaker, Toastmaster Paduka Kannan. She is attempting her DTM speech today, and she is a Toastmaster with over 7 years of experience, having served as VP membership at Gabbys and past Area Director, Area B1, District 92. Professionally, she is a Chief AI Architect with over 16 plus years of engineering experience, driving AI-led transformation and innovation. So we hear this final voice today. And timer, please note her speech duration is 8 to 10 minutes. Toastmaster Paduka will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Anna Dockery. Toastmaster Paduka, miles to go before I sleep. Miles to go before I sleep, Toastmaster Paduka.
Rise and shine, Gabbys. Miles to go before I sleep. From a very popular poem by Robert Frost. I love this line. It is a simple reminder that there is so much to learn and there is so much to do. Today, as I stand on my journey towards distinguished Toastmaster, I wanted to not only bring my experience in completing this project, but look back at 7 years of my journey in Toastmasters and what I brought onto the table to complete and execute this particular project. But first, quick recap on what is my DTM project is all about. SpeakX. In my first DTM speech, I put up a very fine presentation, the plan, the execution strategy. The vision was simple: how to create a memorable speaking experience, interactive experience for the members in person for the Gabbys meeting. Because generally Gabbys meeting on online and offline mode, we do have a very little members in participating. So, of course, I've attended the Toastmasters meeting before COVID, and I've also attended online meetings. Online meetings are great, it gives us accessibility, but there is something about the member coming in person, in particular room. There's a spontaneity, there is a connection that we can form. There's a lot of non-verbal communication we can learn. So I asked myself how we can make people come back into the Gabbys meeting room physically, in person. And that became SpeakX. And what better occasion than our Gabbys 6th anniversary meeting, which was held on 18th June 2026. Yeah, a couple of months back. But before I tell you how the project went, let me share a couple of more important realizations that I had during my Toastmasters journey that helped me to execute this particular project. Lesson number 1, speaking is not communication. When I joined Toastmasters, I knew how to speak. I can explain information, I can present, but speaking is not about whether I have put everything in my speech while I'm speaking. Did I want to say everything that what I wanted to say? No, it isn't. It is about did the other person understand what I wanted them to understand? Earlier, I would put everything I knew into the speech. More information, more examples, more points. But Toastmasters taught me to simplify it. Today, even as I begin the speech, I jot down what are the 2 or 3 powerful messages that I wanted to convey to my audience. What is the takeaway that they can have from my speech? Of course, there are such kind of a powerful tools and nuances I learned from the Toastmasters meeting, especially from this Gabbys club. The usage of rhetorics to make your speech much more powerful. A lot more. So don't just speak, communicate. But have I become the bestest communicator? Just as I looked this particular meeting, the kind of speeches I heard just now, and the Toastmasters and from the Toastmasters community, I should say I have miles to go before I sleep. Lesson number 2, the power of influence. Particularly fond of leadership roles because I do have one in my professional life. But at work, there is a certain structure. The people have roles, people have accountability. They are being paid for what they do. So I used to wonder what Toastmasters can actually teach me for my leadership role. But to my surprise, it's not about the authority. It's about influence. So I do wonder, why would someone volunteer? Why would someone take responsibility just because, of course, they're not even getting paid? And why would someone come into the room together just because you ask them to do? Have I become the bestest influencer? Just looking at the kind of meeting that we are having at this point in time, bring the members from around various countries by our XCOM team and by the Allied Gabbys members, I would say I have miles to go before I sleep. And all these led to a question: am I eligible to be a DTM? Considering it is a highly distinguished recognition in Toastmasters. By rules and guidelines, yes, I'm almost reaching that line. But I don't think the title is the most important part. It is the most important question of what did I learn in my journey to becoming a DTM, a distinguished Toastmaster. And that brings me back to my project. Everything I learned in Toastmaster, I wanted to apply those lessons to solve a real problem that we are facing in Gabbys. How do we make the experience enriched for the members who are joining online? Of course, offline. Along with online, we need both. We decided to start small. So rather than handling the entire problem of offline participation, we wanted to bring as many members as possible for the special occasion, Gabbys' 6th anniversary celebration on 13th June 2026. With the theme SpeakX, the entire theme revolved around a purely unscripted event. There's no prepared speeches, there's no prepared scripts. And the agenda was completely different. Of course, in my speech where I spoke about the strategy, the agenda, the kind of events, and the 18-member team that we formed together, and which I gave this particular speech a couple of days before the event. The plan looked good on the paper. The execution is where the real challenge begins. But I must say, the kind of effort that the Gabbys team put together was phenomenal. There were a lot of follow-ups, logistics, celebration designs, reach outs, and the promotions, a lot many more. And yeah, a few last-minute surprises as well, a few backouts. But what's fun without having those few last-minute surprises? Have we brought the people into the room? Did we able to do it? Let me show you, right? So let me share my screen where I would like to share the photo which we took on this Gabbys day. Yes, there were around 29 people in person on the room with 14 members online. But most importantly, look at these faces. Look at the smile on their faces. At least the vibe that you could feel from this particular photo. This is the kind of the experience that we wanted to bring to the members of Gabbys. But did we achieve it? Am I done? Definitely not. Because we have to do this again and again and again. One event is definitely not enough. And that's how I equate my journey with this journey to my DTM journey as well. It is definitely a milestone, but it is a checkpoint. It is a moment to pause and say, thank you. Thank you to all the members of the Gabbys and the Toastmasters community who are right over here and who are behind the screens as well. I can definitely say I have come a long way. I do understand much better how to communicate, how to lead a team with a slight pat on their back while I'm conveying the feedback. But I also know there are still speeches to give. There are still lessons to be learned on how to influence people without authority. So, my dear Toastmasters from the community and to my dear Gabbys Club members, I do not want to conclude by stating, hey, I've achieved. Instead, come a long way. And I'm ready to take that next mile. Because there's still miles to go before I sleep. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paduka. Yes, 7+ years of experience as Toastmaster is a long journey. and wishing you all the very best for your miles ahead. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Paduka Kannan for her DTM speech, and also for all the wonderful speakers who made this Independence Day truly memorable. So let's keep this applause coming, since every voice and every story and every courageous speaker who came up today matters. Toastmaster Pooja, can we check with you for some disqualifications? Were there any disqualification with respect to time?
I'm sharing my screen to everyone.
Yeah. While Toastmaster Pooja shares the screen, Toastmaster, let us take a quick 5 minutes break to stretch and leave our chair if we want to, but come back soon, because straight ahead are 8 amazing evaluations from all across the globe. A wonderful opportunity to stay right here. Can we have a music in the background for 5 minutes? Can we have everyone on the cameras, please? Because it's time to begin with our evaluation section, which we are awaiting. So our first evaluator, yes, I can see that on screen. Toastmaster Pooja has shared her.
I think she can send it at the end of the meeting on the chat. Yeah, let's continue with the evaluation. We are behind time.
Right. So I'm inviting our first evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. The distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, who's joining us from Karachi, Pakistan. He's a highly accomplished Toastmaster, a 7-time DTM, past district director, and is currently the president of Leaders Worldwide, District 205, California, and Eloquent Echoes Advanced Toastmaster Club, District 104. He is also the VP of Karachi Toastmasters and Quantum Leap Advanced. DTM Talha is a passionate competitive speaker. He secured second place in Toastmaster International Video Speech Contest. Well, professionally, he's a chartered accountant, trainer, and corporate communication specialist. Let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. Can we please spotlight him? And can we please spotlight the speaker, Toastmaster Pratham?
Done. Yeah, let's continue.
Thank you so much. What a privilege to hear you, Toastmaster Pratham, and right on the day when both our countries broke the ice, you also broke the ice. Congratulations on an accomplished icebreaker. I will hold you to a slightly higher standard than most icebreakers that I've heard, simply because to me, you are already quite accomplished. So, first of all, you did a really good start with world building, your storyteller talent shone through the way you set up your speech. You had great eye contact, really impressive, great confidence. And one more thing that I noticed that I still struggle with, and I've seen many other speakers struggle with, your facial expressions were exactly in sync with what you sing. and you were really feeling what you were saying, which is something I thoroughly appreciate. You used very good language throughout. Some examples would include the cycle was reset, unfamiliar faces became my friends, dirt road had connected me to Pathways Base Camp. So, very creative. Your journey overall is wonderful, creative, and heartwarming. Really love the fact that your speech was more of a story and less a formal speech. At least personally speaking, I got engrossed in your story and kind of forgot that it was supposed to be a prepared speech, which is, I think, a great success on your part. Now, a few improvement areas. First of all, your stage movement. You were mostly penduluming from one side to another, which is a natural given the limitations of a screen. But there's one more dimension that you can move through, which is the Z axis. So consider using that, getting close to the camera like this so that you can whisper, and getting farther away from the camera, emphasize your body movements, your gestures. Again, use this as an advantage. This limitation could also be your advantage. More variation in pace would also have been welcome in your speaking pace. For example, when you're paraphrasing dialogue, you could role play a little bit, introduce more acting into it, so that would naturally elevate your vocal variety. And a couple of times you really missed the occasion to add that. For example, when you said, I decided to take matters into my own hands, you could have come closer to the camera and be more authoritative. I decided to take matters into my own hands. Something like that. Um, so the ending was a little bit abrupt, and that could be improved. To challenge yourself when speaking online, again, consider planning your movement in three axes, and that is pretty much it. But overall, I think it was a great icebreaker. Your storytelling talent, your story, everything was beautiful. You fulfilled the purpose of the project to the extreme, and you only have more improvement areas simply because I'm holding you to a higher standard than a newbie. So, congratulations and thank you for this beautiful speech. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you for the evaluation.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Atala, for that thoughtful and encouraging evaluation for the icebreaker speech. Coming up next is the second evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Bhushan Rele. He's joining us from Canada, Lakeview Toastmasters. Can we please spotlight him? Yes. Distinguished Toastmaster Bhushan has over 19 years of Toastmasters experience. He has served as a contest speaker and a leader at multiple levels, and most recently as District Director, District 86, Canada. For him, the true magic of Toastmasters lies not just in the speeches or titles, but in the people, the friendships, the learnings, and the transformation. Let's welcome DTM Bhushan Rele.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and most notably you, Sanjay. Congratulations on delivering a very well-researched speech. I really like the materials you had collected together. Let me present to you my evaluation using the 3-2-1 techniques. 3 things that you did well, 2 things that you can take your speech to the next level, and lastly, the strongest point in your speech. So let me tell you some of the things you did really well. First thing, your research and information that you collected. The 4 things that you talked about, Ranakpur, Adinath, Tillai, Nataraja, and Meenakshi. 4 things you researched really well. I believe you must have spent a lot of effort collecting all the materials and putting together on the slides. That guided your speech and provided you the substance to take it forward. So I liked your research. It basically helped you meet your objective as well, which is your purpose. Your purpose of the speech was to tell us about the heritage. of your country, which you did, rightfully did through your research. The next thing I liked in your speech is because you had collected so much material, you narrated it extremely well. I don't know whether you rehearsed it or not, but I could see you standing and narrating it very quickly without looking or referring much materials, not pausing. You went in, just went ahead and narrated your substance materials very well. So I liked your narrative style. And the third thing I liked is your focus on heritage. Your focus was on heritage. I think it was more specifically on architectural heritage. Your starting statement, let not forget your heritage, was your statement that continued through your speech. Two things I think that can take your speech to the next level, if you would like to work on that. Number one, I would suggest to make your structure it better, meaning have transitions a little more demarcated. You start your speech telling, let me tell you about 4 architectural heritage items from your country. And then you tell architectural item number 1. I think it was Ranakpur Temple. Where is it located? What is there in there? And why? Why? That why has to come out. For example, having handmade carvings made through on a rock is a very painstaking, hard effort that you have to bring it to life through your speech. The second thing that can take your speech to the next level is to have you in it, your personal element. The personal element had to be put in. What you felt, how you felt it, your amazing wow, looking at things, that was missing. So if you add those two things, your speech can be even better. Overall, well narrated speech, having the little human element, instead of focusing on the slides, bring in the you in it, and it will make your speech even better. With that, I'll return it back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Bhushan, for making that valid point. Inviting now on the virtual stage, Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi, who is joining us from Bahrain, eloquent Toastmaster. Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed is a personification of servant leadership style. He brings with him an incredible 29 years Toastmasters journey and has served in various leadership roles at club, area, division, and district levels. He's currently serving as the chairman of the Bahrain Gabbys Clubs Council and chairman of Global Youth Gabbys Club Group B. An administrator by profession, Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed is passionate about supporting others in their growth and development. Welcome, Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. His footsteps remains. What a wonderful title of the speech from Toastmaster Samita. Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, and most distinguished guests who are present here online. Good morning to you all. First of all, let me congratulate the speaker who attempted a very inspiring speech about our own personal experience. A very compelling speech to remind us, all of us, about how important it is to follow the footsteps of our elders, especially within our family members or our parents or the teachers or whoever it is. This speaker reminded all of us about this most important aspect of our life. Speaker has selected a wonderful topic to inspire. I am not sure whether this speech is for evaluation and feedback for whether it was the first speech or second speech. But if it was the first speech, I do not have the previous evaluation, but I will give my evaluation in as normal as the projects which what I witnessed. The speaker has selected this topic with delivered it very clearly to understand all of us, and the facial expressions, everything was perfect in the speech. The speaker has a wonderful voice, and he could make use of this to a greater extent with a little bit of vocal variety. Now, coming to the strong point of the speech, the structure was good, the language command was excellent, and the purpose of the speech was very clear to inspire all of us. And the speaker is a very, very nice storyteller. The speaker can develop storytelling process to a great extent. Now, coming for the recommendation, where the speaker could work on is the stage movement. I know this is a limited space in the screen, but I saw out of the 8 speakers, only 2 speakers, I think, stood up and spoke. And this was the second speaker I noticed in these 8 speakers who stood up and used the screen by speaking while standing. So the monotonous body language was there, and the speaker was standing in the same spot throughout the speech with the little bit of vocal variety only. She was very loud, but she was very clear. But vocal variety could have been little more better, so that to express the emotions of the speech in a lower voice, where she was sad and where she was happy, this could help to a greater impact on the speech. Coming to the challenge for the speaker for the future speeches, if I would say, even on the screen, please try to make use of that space what you have for the various transition of the speech when you're speaking, when you're from the starting, and at least moving 1 or 2 steps onto a right to the second segment of the speech, and then coming back to the center, and then move to the other side of the speech for the third segment, and close the speech with the message at the center. Using that screen, even the limited space with this will definitely have a greater impact. And that is the challenge for the speaker in the future project. I congratulate the speaker for having completed this project and wish the speaker all the best for the future project. So over to you, Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed, for your words of wisdom and for our target speaker. And now I would invite yet another distinguished Toastmaster who is joining us from Canada, distinguished Toastmaster Iona Rodrigues from Comfortably Speaking Toastmasters Club. Iona is a project manager by profession, a bridge player by choice, and garden whisperer on weekends. With 26 years as a proud Toastmasters, she brings with her a wealth of experience and a wonderful philosophy. You and your words make a difference in this world. Be the difference. What a beautiful thought for our Freedom of Speech Marathon. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Renu, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially you, Varun. Thank you for giving us a glimpse into your leadership style, and congratulations on your leadership journey. You immediately captured my attention. I saw many strengths that define an original and engaging speaker, and I'd like to share with you my observations in the areas of your content, your delivery, and language as I felt and heard your speech. I will give you a few suggestions that may help you make your future speeches even more impactful. Your content. What stood out most was your very creative approach to showcasing the different leadership styles through storytelling. Rather than just simply describing leadership theories, you transformed your speech into a movie set complete with actors and scenes and directing moments. and I especially enjoyed the title, The Director's Cut. It perfectly set the expectation that we are about to receive some exclusive behind the scenes access to your leadership journey. Your personal examples added authenticity and sincerity, and it helps the audience understand leadership better with real life experiences. So, thank you for that. Your delivery was confident, you were engaging, you spoke with the assurance of someone who knows exactly where the team is headed, while the rest of us, we were still trying to get the Zoom link to get on this team. You certainly excelled at your content. You're a very creative storyteller. You kept the audience engaged from start to finish. Your language, very vivid, memorable expressions such as the control freak, sacrosanct vision that painted very, very strong mental images. You transported all of us and me into your movie set. Your confidence, your natural presence and sincerity made us want to follow along with your story. You may want to work on your technology preparation before a speech. A quick sound check and camera check with the Toastmaster of the day can ensure the smooth opening scene. Rather, can you see me? Can you hear me? It's very distracting. So when you have the stage, you just begin. I would suggest you use more of your screen space. As a director, you don't stay in one shot the entire movie. You move between different positions and gestures for emphasis. And the third is your camera angle. At times, I felt you were standing above me and speaking to me, and it was a little bit disconcerting from where I was. So, an eye level camera will create a stronger connection and will keep the audience feeling like a part of the cast rather than auditioning for a role. So, to challenge yourself, Varun, I would encourage you to share a bit more about how your leadership style scenes from a blooper reel. Give us something to laugh at, right? Those moments where we fail contain more valuable lessons and would create an even stronger audience connection. Overall, this was a very entertaining and insightful and highly creative speech. And you reminded us that leadership is not about having all the answers, it's about moving forward together. Thank you, and I look forward to your next speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Iona, for that beautiful recommendations for our target speaker. Moving ahead with our next evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar Balakrishnan. He is joining us from Kobun Bahru Toastmasters Club, Singapore. I hope I pronounced that right, Distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar. Brahma Kumar is a distinguished Toastmaster, writer, poet, YouTuber, and TikTok content creator. He's bringing a wonderfully creative dimension to our evaluator panel and is currently working on his 9th and 10th pathways. He has published 3 poetry books and a short collection with 2 more books scheduled to be launched this month on 29th August 2026 in Singapore. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar.
Thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts on Toastmaster Rahul's speech on India's Independence Day. Let me share my slide. Right. I think you can see it. All right. Taking the acronym of GYM, GYM, I'll share my feedback on Rahul's speech. What is great about this speech? The speech was relevant, relatable, current. We know of many of our friends and maybe us who love to go to the gym. I've heard of people who like to go regular gymming, apart from the gymming that we do for And the speech had a lot of anecdotes on the various gym participants, the Instagrammer, the machine tester, the yeller, and so on. The speech was brought to life by the use of language, props, and body language. Props like this, and body language when he tried to show someone who was actually going through constipation, although he was trying to carry some weights. Those were the great things about him, and you can see he's quite natural. He had really prepared for his speech. Now, where can he move on? Apologize. Yeah, the language used like humongous, broad biceps. When I think of humongous, I think of things like dinosaurs. So I could really imagine. Illegitimate bodybuilder. That's a very interesting phrase. And a factory where muscle monsters are built. That's very nice. So all these words make us laugh. But what is yucky? What was not so good? These are areas you can look at. And they are, I understand you are a persistent body sculpturer, but your voice was also quite consistent. It needs to vary like this. When you're talking about children, uncle, can we see your biceps? You need to use the voice of the child. Then the man who was talking about you when he saw your body and he gave that bodybuilder Bhaiya, how are you today? Those things add humor to the speech. Now, finally, when your dad says, this guy only gives protein powder, you see this change in the voice has an impact on the audience. Moving on, what can you consider? And move on to the next stage. Show some pictures of some eccentric bodybuilders. I think that will be even more powerful than what you're doing now. Showing pictures of yourself before and after bodybuilding. That also will give a buy-in for those who want to sculpture their body. And it's just my suggestion, changing the speech title from nobody to bodybuilder. Because your topic, speech title is very powerful. You need to think of something funny. I'm just giving a suggestion, right? I'm sure you can think of some creative titles. And what's the next step? In short, the body of your speech is good enough to make us laugh. You need to work on your voice to make us fall off the seats after listening to your speech. And most of all, modify your speech a bit and participate in the humorous contest. And now return to the gym and practice. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Brahma Kumar, to bringing in such a creative way of presenting evaluation.
Thank you,
That
sir.
was great. Inviting on this virtual stage, a distinguished Toastmaster Chu Wei Ping. She's joining us from Novam Toastmasters Club, Malaysia. Professionally, she's a lawyer with her own legal practice in Kuala Lumpur, with experience across civil litigation, conveyancing, family matters, and legal consultation. She is also associated with National Association of Women Entrepreneurs in Malaysia, supporting women entrepreneurs through this long-standing organization. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. It is a privilege to be on this platform here today to evaluate Sarga Dugal. Firstly, Sarga, you have a very engaging voice. You are a natural speaker. And I would like to remind you that this is my personal opinion, And I am evaluating you according to the inspire, because the objective of your speech is to inspire. I will be using the acronym to evaluate you. And was your content interesting? Yes, it is interesting. And I would like to say that, did it influence me because I am the audience? It's a little bit neutral. It's not so there. So that is the end that is being used, and the story that you have here. I would have preferred it and loved it even more if your content is more structured. Yes, you have an impactful introduction about travel experiences. And you have told us that your travel experiences were actually sponsored 90% by clients. How many of us would actually have that opportunity to have our travel experiences being sponsored by someone else? Most of the time, we would have to plan it out of our own finances. And that is a challenge for quite a number of us. And you have used the credit card as the way to how to help us navigate planning your travel experiences. And that would actually be very good. I would like to encourage you to use the pauses in your points when you're telling us how to plan. And I would also have loved to have a real personal story where it has actually impacted you so much that it would inspire me to really use the credit card for my next travel experience. And I would like to challenge you to inspire me more as an audience, how the credit card would actually help me plan beyond that. And I feel your personal story would actually inspire me more. And I feel that it is a bit lacking here. Overall, I have thoroughly enjoyed your speech and would have loved it more if I am truly inspired. And back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Chu, for that wonderful evaluation. Well, now I invite Distinguished Toastmaster Umar Farooq Awan, who is joining us from Saudi Arabia, an internal auditor by profession and Toastmaster by passion. Omar has been a Toastmaster for over 6 years, and he has served as President, VP Education, and Area Director in District 79. A strong believer in servant leadership, he says, servant leadership isn't a slide in my deck, it is the job. A competitive speaker, a district finalist, Omar enjoys books, chess, teaching, nature, films, and of course, more and more of Toastmasters. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. I have to say one thing. My knowledge of Indian mythology is limited to Kaun Banega Crorepati. When Amitabh Bachchan asks some Indian mythology questions, then I get the knowledge, okay, that's it. But, the big but. Toastmaster Subhashini made this story relatable, connected with us, and gave a strong message as well. So kudos to Toastmaster Subhashini for making a unique, a specific kind of a story and have it something connect to everybody in the room. So wonderful job done, Toastmaster Subhashini. I loved it, how you churned the message out of that story and how we can reflect back on it as well. So first thing, you met the objectives of your project. You have to tell a story, a speech that is a story, or a speech that has a story. So you met that objective. Secondly, I loved how you started with manthan. Everybody, some of us, they may not know that what is the meaning of it, and you spark that curiosity, and you said, I'll tell you later on, so that you build that suspense. I was eager to know what that actually means in context of the story, so maybe others know what it is. Secondly, the hand gestures. I always say that when you come onto the stage, even you utter a single word, you already have started speaking because your body language is there. So your hand gestures, you are communicating with your hands, even and trying to connect and try to emphasize the point as well when you wanted to. So I loved how you freely were using it. I loved your energy as a speaker, your aura, that vibes that you have. So your each and every speaker has a unique energy, and that connects to even if you are in an online session as well. So wonderful done. I love how you concluded it with a strong message, call to action, that how we can reflect deeply on it. However, there is no such thing as a perfect speaker. So I would like to give you some recommendations. First, pause, take a deep breath. When are the important moments in a speech? I'm not talking about rate of speaking, maybe that is another thing, but pausing. When you're talking about Lord Shiva did not let it in, maybe go down deep or maybe spit it out, then after that you can pause. So let or build that mystery, like sense of urgency. What is that? That eagerness. So pause on those important moments in your story in order to spark that curiosity. Secondly, how did this speech has impacted you as this story has impacted you as a speaker? What are your churnings? What are your hardships that you have gone through? What are the lessons you want to take away? That is something that you need to maybe have some uh, 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 um, added to it in order to enhance it. Overall, excellent speech, Toastmaster Subhashini. Just work on having those important pauses and having a personal example to support that the story also. So keep rising and keep shining and keep chatting. All the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Omar, for your words of wisdom. Now it's time for the final evaluation of this wonderful speech marathon. For that, I would invite distinguished Toastmaster Anne Dockeray, joining us from Maple Leaf Toastmaster Clubs, Canada. Anne has been a Toastmaster for almost 13 years now in District 86. She's a member of 3 clubs. She has earned the prestigious Distinguished Toastmaster designation twice, and once through the Legacy program and once through the Pathway program. Wow. Her greatest passion in Toastmasters is mentoring. She loves encouraging others to become their best and finds immense joy in seeing them succeed. Wonderful. Distinguished Toastmaster Anne, over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster, and of course you as well, Paducah. What a wonderful way to end the day with a distinguished Toastmaster speech. First of all, I've got a few good things to say, and I do have a couple of little things that I would love to share with you that you can grow on, and I definitely know that you have accomplished. So the purpose of this was to demonstrate your skills as a leader and a public speaker. You definitely have that covered. You shined definitely in your speaking. I have no problem with having you say that you can communicate very well. The other one is to share some experience completing this projects. So today, just in the title alone, you intrigued me with the Robert Frost's quote, and that tells me that something good is going to come. Because I don't sleep much, that title makes me wonder where I'm going to get one more sleep. So that just intrigued me right off the bat. What you did really well, you brought the audience in. You carried us through. You carried us on your journey. You utilized everything that you could possibly do with your resources, your vocal variety, your gestures. There was times that I was right there with you and trying to figure out how this was going to work for you. I love the fact that you use team collaboration in accomplishing this goal. To me, You'd never get anywhere to be a distinguished Toastmaster unless you bring people with you. And that's why mentoring means so much to me, and it should mean a lot to everyone. What I thought that you did very well was your eye contact on the screen. You were able to move with the screen, and everybody could feel like you were actually talking to them specifically. Now, there is a couple of things that I do believe that you could do a little bit better. There was times when the words were on top of each other that I couldn't quite get the clarity. And then there is the so transition. You use that twice. So watch when you're transitioning, don't use the word so. And when you ask a question, stop. Utilize the pause. Wait for, even if it's some kind of a response, but let people get the thinking in. But overall, you did an absolutely fabulous, wonderful job. Definitely deserving of a distinguished Toastmaster. I would like to add one little more thing to it. The challenge that you need to put out to the rest of the group. Why this DTM is important to you, and get them to understand that this is achievable and all of us should be striving for that. To be better communicator, to fit into the world is exactly what we need to do. So very well done, Paducah. Enjoyed your speech immensely. Back to you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Anf. And that was the end of our 8 insightful evaluations. What a remarkable journey this has been. An icebreaker speaker who was struggling with his choice of subjects to a distinguished Toastmasters aspiring speaker to achieve more milestones. 8 powerful speeches, 8 insightful evaluations. So we experienced this true spirit of freedom of speech today. The freedom to express, the courage to speak, and the generosity to help one another. A heartfelt thank you to all the speakers and our distinguished evaluators, and an opportunity to host you all. With that, I conclude my role as Toastmaster of the Day and hand over the virtual stage to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Renu Kaushal, and everybody who took up a role today, who made this meeting very special on this special day for the Gabbys family. I am just simply amazed by the speeches, by the evaluations, and by our rule takers. The way you have conducted this entire meeting in such a smooth manner, amazing. Thank you so much. Can we hear it for each of the role taker who took up stage today? Well, today we had icebreaker and we had DTM project speech as mark of respect to people who are starting their journey and people who are achieving at a certain point in their journey. We don't have any polls. In fact, for the evaluation as well, we had guest role takers today as a mark of respect for our guest. Again, no competition, no polls. It's a happy day today. All of us are enjoying the evaluation points from each of the evaluator who took up the role today. Thank you so much for taking up this role. One thing I noticed that the guests didn't get a chance to speak today. So I'll quickly open the floor for our guest feedback. We are already behind agenda, so we'll wrap it up in another 2 minutes. In case anyone wants to share any feedback, please raise your hand and the floor is yours. We have, okay, Saurav.
Okay, I think Gokul wants to speak. I'll just quickly add something. I want to kind of commend the audience on their maturity. See, we are living in a world where there's so much of friction and so much of fighting. People are intolerant about each other's perspectives. If you see the diversity that was there in the meeting today in terms of religion, in terms of nationalities, in terms of the geopolitical spaces, there's a lot of difference in opinion in the way we look at things, which is very apparent here. But the way the speakers delivered and the evaluators evaluated, the maturity they demonstrated, I think that's something that's remarkable about this platform. And I think politicians, statesmen the world over should probably learn a bit from us as Toastmasters that how to actually have a meaningful debate without scratching each other to death. So that's my 2 cents. And thank you so much, all the DTMs who joined us today. Really means a lot. Some of you have actually spent the whole entire night attending this meeting. Can't thank you enough. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Saurav. Thank you for bringing all of us together as VP Education of the club. So commendable job. Can we hear it for him as well, please? Gokul, I saw you raising your hand. Would you like to share a few words? You have got 30 seconds.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So I'm Gokul. I think I'm the younger one in this room, it seems. I'm just 22. Last year I graduated. I'm currently working at Salesforce. And this is my first Toastmasters Club experience. And I just really wanted to improve the leadership communication skills because we know Salesforce is a big MNC. I attended one event. From there, I grasped how leadership people, they are delivering their speeches. So from there, I wanted to just grasp that skill. So that's why I attended this. It was very insightful and loved this session. Thank you all. And I thank Subhashini as well. So she also did nicely. Yeah, thank you. And eager to
Thank you,
participate in
Gokul.
many sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Gokul. I hear it that you loved Subhashini's speech. Out of all the speeches, I'm sure Subhashini is going to take note of this. I see Rosalind turning on her camera. Rosalind, would you like to speak? Okay, we cannot hear you. Can you please unmute? All right. So, Rosalind, I think that was by mistake. Well, with this, I wish everybody a very happy Independence Day. For the guests who would like to share their thoughts, you can drop your thoughts in the comment box or you can connect with us over chat. Our VP Education has already shared the chat link for you to stay connected with all of us. I thank each one of you for today's meeting. I'll see you on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. Happy Independence Day and see you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining.
So sorry I dropped just now. It was a great time.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Independence Day.
Thank you, Rosalind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Independence Day to
Bye.
all.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. Hakuna Matata.
Thank you, everyone.